And video games are getting it from everyone, as Entertainment This Week puts all its blips in one basket for this Easter weekend of 1982. Speaking of marketing, one of today's greatest marketing triumphs in the entertainment field is video games. It's a business which has tripled in size in just 3 years. Ron Hendren went out in the field to bring us this special report.
One of the traditional battlegrounds for the entertainment dollar has been here, the movie theater box office. Movies raked in $2.9 billion last year, a sum which sent critics into a frenzy trying to figure out which were hits based on their box office performance. But a larger issue has often been ignored, and that is that ticket sales have been relatively flat since 1972. In the important youth market, movies compete with records and tape. A visit to LA's largest record stores confirms industry figures that record and tape sales are down. Nationwide, the decline is estimated at $1 billion for 1981. All of this bad news is not completely due to the recession. The movies and the music industry have suddenly had to face a new competitor, one which took in a stunning $5.6 billion last year. To find out where all these dollars are going, you have to go to the places where they're spent. Video game arcades around the country, where, at 25 cents a crack, 22.4 billion quarters were dropped last year.
I used to sit down every day, spend about $10 at a time. It took me about 5 weeks every day of playing to come into about the 300, 400,000 average. I spent about maybe $600, $700 on the game total.
The video mania, according to Walter Lowe, who wrote a Playboy article about it, goes beyond mere passion.
The games certainly are conducive to obsessive behavior. Someone who has a tendency toward obsession certainly is in trouble when they get into the world of video games.
The trouble kids can get into has prompted city officials from Marlborough, Massachusetts to Oakland, California to pass ordinances regulating when children can play in arcades. Such regulations, currently embroiled in court challenges, meet the approval of mothers like Mrs. Ronnie Lamb, who has been leading parents to take a stand against the uncontrolled spread of the machines.
I think to a certain extent it's taking over some children's lives. Children are not developing communicative skills when they're zeroing into a machine. They're not learning how to interact with the world around them and their peers. What is the future world going to be like if our children can't speak to each other? I think parents need some help from society to set parameters for where their children should be going and where their children are permitted to go. Society has always done this. We have laws for drinking ages. We have laws for smoking, dealing with age limitations. Parents need help.
Parents are going to need all the help they can get, for the expansion of the video games industry is even being fueled by the city of Los Angeles, which is investigating putting video games into jury rooms and city parks to replace dwindling tax revenues. In these circumstances, it isn't surprising that arcade executives are bullish about a future in which they see their games reaching out to touch everyone.
Probably within a year or a year and a half, because of computers and the sophisticated use of computers and the technology, you'll be able to come into Castle Park in Sherman Oaks and put a quarter in a machine and play your brother-in-law in Castle Park in Miami on the same machine and have a competition long distance, if it will.